It was 1 year ago today that we saw the now law become law in the District of Columbia. And I was extremely proud to be a part of the effort within the Council of the District of Columbia to do something that is one of the most important things that I think we've done in this city. And as much as I wish it weren't so, I think I lost some friends in the course of this. There's some people who don't speak to me today because of my position. But you know what? As much as I regret that, what's more important to me is doing the right thing. And that is precisely what we did. It was the right thing. And I'm glad that we weren't the last in line in the District of Columbia and being able to step forward to make this happen. I also hope that as we see this, the movement towards, civil unions and, around the country, I hope our neighbors will take the same steps that the District of Columbia took a year ago. We know, as a part of legislation, there's no house of worship that is required to perform a marriage. But I'm delighted also that we have dozens and dozens that have said, we want to do this, we want to open the doors to the house of worship so that anybody who wishes to be married in the city, in fact, can be married. But again, we certainly did not try to impose the city's will on our religious community here in the District of Columbia. I also want to thank Phil Mendelson and David Kattin, who are not here today, but I think provided exceptional leadership in helping to make this happen. David, who reached out to help craft the legislation in the first place, and to Phil, through whose committee this legislation moved. And we have, of course, one of our newest members of the council, the newest member of the council who's here today, Sekou Biddle. And Sekou, I just want to charge you with the responsibility and the important task of making sure we preserve this in the future. We've seen changes at the congressional level, and we've seen incursions as a result into some of the things that are important to us. A needle exchange program that is so important to us in the city is now under assault at the federal level. That we're ostensibly being told that we can't spend our own money on a program that is proven to work. I think there are well over 200 cities now in this nation that have needle exchange programs, and I don't know of one that hasn't demonstrated the effectiveness in stemming the transmission of HIV and, of course, AIDS as a result of that. We've seen the assault on abortions for needy women, and the position that we shouldn't, we can't spend our money on abortions for needy women. And to me, it's not about whether you're pro-choice or pro-life. It's pro-self-determination, as I see it, and that is we ought to be able to be in a position to make those decisions for ourselves with respect to our dollars. And we also see other education decisions potentially being made for the citizens of this city. But I hope that there won't be an assault on marriage equality in the District of Columbia coming from the Congress. And if there is, I think we ought to stand ready to stand up, and that is to resist as much as we possibly can this happening. To me, this was a quintessential demonstration of self-determination in the District of Columbia, and I'm proud to be a part of a city that absolutely overwhelmingly supported marriage equality. People thought that there would be a cataclysmic effect of having done what was done in the city on marriage equality. And there are those who make the same arguments about this city becoming a state, about us having self-determination. People who use the argument of the federal presence. And frankly, I think we can figure out the federal presence. There's some pretty smart people in the city. I don't think we'd be confused about what is the local presence of neighborhoods and 600,000 people vis-a-vis the federal presence of the Congress and the White House and the other monuments that exist. Don't you all think we can figure that out? And not with a lot of confusion. It probably wouldn't even take a full day, Rick. We could probably figure that out in about maybe 2-3 hours. And I think have a plan that is workable. But the question ultimately rests with the people of the city. And that is, what are we prepared to do in order to fight for our own future and our own freedom? Taxation without representation was the mantra that fueled, catalyzed the resistance, more than 2 centuries ago. Yet that is exactly what we have here in the District of Columbia today. The question is before us, not before anybody else, and that is, what is it we intend to do to try to make a difference in how we live in the District of Columbia? Thank you all very much, and happy anniversary.